Happy Tuesday. I hope you are having an awesome night. I'm Haley Gray. I'm the founder of the Women's Entrepreneur Network. I am, incidentally, a business consultant and also the owner of a digital marketing agency. So tonight, I'm going to have a little bit of fun poking fun at coaches and marketing people and the lies and the things that clients and customers are frequently misled on. So one of the things I see a lot of, y'all, please, in your posts, don't lie. I've seen way too many people who post and they say, hey, I just got a 10K client. And they didn't. You know, sometimes I see people on the back channels or in groups that I'm in, and they talk about getting this, so-called high ticket client, and they haven't. Lies. One of the things that will turn me off of a person so fast is knowing that they're lying about the clients that they have or their financial situation or whatever. Let's just agree to keep things honest and transparent. I feel like that is kind of something that is super important. Another one that kind of drives me wild is you have to have this piece of technology in order to run your business. And in a lot of cases, it's Kajabi, it's Kartra, it's ClickFunnels, it's something that's $300, $400, $500 a month. Y'all, nothing could be further from the truth. You can actually run a business very successfully, several $1,000s a month, with minimal technology. And you do not need the Kartras, the Kajabis, the Entreports, the Infusionsofts, the ClickFunnels of the world. Now, my business, we do a lot of setting up funnels. We do a lot of this stuff. But these things are not necessary to run a business successfully in the online space. And in fact, I dare say that they're going to drain your pocketbook faster than you can possibly imagine. Next thing I hear, oh my gosh, you need to do a brand new website. You need to do brand new logos. You need to do brand new branding. You need to do all this stuff. Chances are, not really. There is such a drive, especially in the digital marketing world, and I'm pointing at myself because I do websites for clients, to sell people the constant new website. When do I recommend getting a website? It loads slow. It's got bad search engine optimization. It looks bad, or it looks incredibly dated, or it doesn't function as designed, i.e. it's not designed to convert people to become clients or customers. If your website is not designed to drive customer calls, then it might be time to redo it if you're actually really using the website. I see a lot of people who are on their third, their fourth, their fifth iteration of their website, but they haven't really nailed down exactly what they're doing, exactly who they're helping. They're not really making a lot of sales. I don't really recommend doing a website at that point. I actually recommend going back and doing the discovery calls and doing more market research and figuring out what your clients want before you make another investment, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on branding and a website before you do it. It's just not worth it until you really nail down who you've got. And honestly, you can make sales with nothing more than Wave to do your invoices, and you can use Canva or something like that that can be free. There is a free version where you can create brochures to give people a PDF to show them what the program is. And you can answer their questions. You can set up an easy contract using HelloSign. There's ways to do it without having to set up all the fancy tech in the world. And I think that a lot of times we forget that we don't need to start with all the fancy tech in the world. We don't even need business cards in order to get started in our businesses. One of the other things I hear a lot of in the online space. This isn't so much for coaches in the online coaching space, but it happens a lot to my brick and mortar clients where they get approached by whatever company saying, hey, your website's not ranking for blah, blah, blah on Google. Let's index you. Let's do whatever. Or I want to charge you $500 to set up your Google My Business. Y'all, run the other way. You don't really need to pay people to do all of this stuff. It's just taking your money and draining it out of your pocket. The other thing is another lie that I hear all the time. And one of those really big misconceptions is that you have to blog, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to be on every social media platform and Clubhouse, and you have to have this profile, and you have to have that profile, and you have to be everywhere all the time and spread yourself out all over the place to be absolutely visible online. That's not true at all. That actually does the exact opposite of what you want it to do. I actually recommend my clients find one or two things that they are particularly good at and then leverage those one or two things. So if they are particularly comfortable with LinkedIn, we focus on LinkedIn. We don't focus on doing every single social media platform out there. If my clients are comfortable on Facebook, or they're comfortable on Instagram, or they're comfortable on Twitter, we focus on the platforms that they are the most comfortable on and growing the first ones first. And for many, it's busy work and an excuse. Absolutely. And it doesn't matter if you're not getting sales. Without sales, nothing else matters. If you're not having the sales conversations, absolutely nothing else matters. You can have the prettiest website in the world and the most beautiful book, and you can have the most gorgeous sales funnel and the prettiest giveaways. But if you're not making money, nothing else matters. If you're not keeping track of the people you've had conversations with, which you can do with a Google Doc, nothing else matters, because it without sales, it's just a really, really, really expensive hobby. And thank you, Denise. Yes, absolutely. It is such an expensive habit to do. And here's the problem. Doing all of the things, all of the time, doing all the things, falling down these traps is keeping you away from reaching your goals. It is a trap. It is that illusion of busyness, that sin of busyness. It's a complete misdirection to keep you from doing what you need to do. Or pen and paper. Absolutely, right? You can do it with very, very simple and free tools to start with. You don't need all of the expensive stuff. I grew my group initially with absolutely zero budget because I didn't have it anymore, because I had already blown all of my money paying a bunch of coaches, and going broke and doing a launch that went absolutely nowhere. And I had to go back and figure out how to grow my business without spending an absolute fortune on every single thing that I came across, which meant building my own stupid website, which meant putting together my own courses, which meant doing all of my own stuff because I couldn't afford to pay somebody else anymore. And it is absolutely excuses, but people don't even recognize that these are excuses, or that they're being led astray because they think that they have to do all these things because they heard from some guru that they have to write a book. You don't. Books are awesome to have. They are a great part of your funnel, but you need to know who you're serving. You need to know what your business is. You need to know some of these things. You need to do that research before you start writing a book. Blogs are awesome to have, but if you suck at writing and you hate writing, why in the world would you do a blog? If you hate Facebook and Facebook is not your thing, why would you do Facebook? Ditto for YouTube. If you hate doing video and you're totally not comfortable doing video, then why would you do video? Find one or two things that really, really work for you and do them over and over and over again until the cows come home, until you get results. That is how I grew Women's Entrepreneur Network to 75,000 people. It's not because I had a magic pill. It's not because I am absolutely, the most amazing person out there. I think I'm pretty darn awesome, but I am not some genius beyond all recognition. It's that I was determined to do one thing and do it extremely well. I take the analogy of having a little baby snowball that I put in front of me, and I rolled it and I rolled it and I rolled it. And that little baby snowball kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And your new mantra is until the cows come home. Absolutely, Kim. Thank you. And yes, people take advice from those who tell them what they want to hear instead of what they need to hear. And you know what? And here's the other thing too. I hired a lot of different coaches. I hired a lot of different advisors in my business because I recognize the fact that I needed help. And they didn't call me on my bullshit, and they didn't tell me where I was making mistakes. Oh, you're spending too much money here. Y'all, I'm going to tell you if you're spending too much money. I'm literally working with somebody right now who, rather than getting her into the Kartras and the Kajabis of the world, we're using her website, and it's a Squarespace site, turning it into a sales site with landing pages and selling her courses through that, because we don't need to add in all this other crazy automation. And guess what? We're going to save her $300 or $400 a month by doing the technology the right way, the cheap way, that's going to hold up through several stages of her growth until she's ready to do a new website or do a new funnel and do new stuff. And that is the important thing, right? Is having somebody who actually understands this thing and will tell you, no, you don't really need the Kartras or the Kajabis or the Entreports or the Infusionsofts of the world until you're at a point in your business where you're really ready to do all of those things. Yes. And I agree with you. Lots of really bad coaches, sadly. And there's a lot of people who have a variety of different skills, right? I'm one of those people who, I'm not really a coach. I'm kind of more of a consultant. I will tell you like I see it. Like if you're asking me for advice, I'm going to tell you and how to do something. I'm going to tell you how to do it, but I may also make you meditate on it. And it's really important, that you can see the problems in your business and find the problems and fix the problems. That's one of the things I spend a lot of time doing with my clients, is finding the problems and fixing the problems, and then on to the next problem and fixing it, and then on to the next problem and fixing it. I do this a lot with my digital marketing clients, because we have clients that we do consulting with where it's a do-it-yourself type model. And then through our mastermind programs, which are super awesome and affordable and all of those things. But then we also have clients where we do it for them. And under those do it for them clients, we're doing the same things that we're telling our clients to do for themselves. We're trying to find the problems, we're trying to fix the gaps, and we're trying to figure out, okay, well, why is this post maybe not doing the way that it should do? And why is this Facebook page maybe not performing the way that it should perform? Why is this campaign not performing the way it should perform? Why is this page not converting? Why is this? Why is that? And really trying to figure out and dig into the stuff. And it's not about doing more stuff. I told somebody else tonight, well, I see that your client is doing X, Y, and Z. It may be that we can actually get better results by doing fewer things and actually save the client quite a bit of money. And that is the way that we operate, is trying to find ways to do more and be really, really smart about it. Because here's the thing that nobody really talks about in business. These little expenses, okay, whether it's time expenses or money expenses, will eat you alive. I'm a mom. I have 4 kids. My oldest kid has some medical disabilities. And thank you, Kim. I care so deeply about, my people, my friends, my clients. And, I don't have 24 hours in a day to spend taking care of people. I already made that mistake. I ate myself to 427 pounds. And I nearly killed myself in the process of trying to do everything for everybody all the time, despite the fact that I have a top tier MBA, despite the fact that I have the world-class education, despite the fact that I have years and years and years of experience, I made all the mistakes. And one of the things that really, really came home to me is I can't do everything for everybody all the time. Figuring out what the shortest path to money is in a business became very important to me. Being a super good steward of my time and being a super good steward of my money and of my clients' time and of my clients' money became so incredibly important to me, because one of the things I learned in my first business is that if I spend the money, it's gone. I don't get it back. If I spend the time, it's gone. I don't get it back. And here's the thing, everybody will tell you to spend money on this or that or the other. And you have to be super, super particular about exactly how you're spending your money and your time, because that money that you're spending on that expensive software or that extra website or rebranding for the 14th time is money that you're taking away from your family, and maybe going on a cruise, maybe going to Disney World, maybe it's paying for your child's education, maybe it's your car payment. And being smart about it is super important. So being in integrity and telling people things like it is and being honest is super important to me. I don't, I won't say I don't care if I get the next sale, but it's not as important to me as doing the right thing. Doing the right thing is always the most important thing. And, being real about, listen to what people are saying and take it with a grain of salt and look at how that applies to your life, your faith base, your being able to take care of yourself. It may be that you cannot do your business that way. We have to find another way. I work with a lot of clients who are in that position between staying in their job and leaving, and they have to figure out, how do I bridge to making a full-time salary, while I'm working a full-time job and doing this side hustle of mine. There's ways to do it and being smart without spending an absolute fortune doing it. Those people I have quite a few of in my mastermind. And it's important that we help them make that transition gracefully without putting them into the grave, because there is absolutely no honor in our businesses if we end up in the hospital, or we gain 150 pounds that we then have to have weight loss surgery and do stuff with, right? Without us, there is no business. We can't take care of ourselves and we can't take care of our families. So it becomes vitally important that we not be spending time, effort, the energy, the money we don't have, and being foolish about how we're spending it. Because if it's not getting results, if it's not leading us closer and closer to getting results, and sometimes it takes a while to get results, right? You may have to build a platform. You may have to build your network. If you're starting a business with no network, if you're starting a business with no connections, well, guess what? Unfortunately, the first thing you're going to have to do is go out and go network and connect to people and build relationships, because people buy from people they know, like, and trust. That's going to be part of it, right? So I could tell you what my simple 3-step process is for growing a business, but it may be that it doesn't work because you're starting at a different point or you have different skill sets. And it's important to acknowledge those different skill sets rather than saying, hey, I have the perfect 3-step solution for your business. 3-step solutions never, ever work. Well, they work in 1% of cases. They work in that 1% of cases of people who happen to be enough like wherever you were when you started, that they happen to get lucky. I prefer for my clients to have a higher level of getting lucky and being successful, which means being conservative financially, being conservative with time, and being very mindful of how time, effort, and energy are being spent. Not by being on every social media platform. Y'all, if somebody tells you to be on every social media platform and write blogs and be on YouTube and do all the things and do TikTok at the same time, and you don't have like 1 million hours a day, run like the hills. You have to take care of yourself first and your finances first and not bankrupt yourself in the process, because I've been there. I've done it. And it sucks. And, take care of yourself, put money on, in your purse first, mind your own finances first. Don't put it onto a credit card. If somebody says put it on a credit card, that's pretty dangerous territory. If you're putting it on a credit card and you have no line of sight to clients that you're going to pay for it, hoping that a program that you're registering for is going to pay for itself super quickly is the way to bankruptcy. I've seen way too many people in the online space end up in bankruptcy because it took too long for them to get to where they needed to be financially. And they ended up having to take massive steps back in their business. So what if you're a little bit more conservative and you don't make as big of an investment financially to start with, but you get where you need to go? And that's one of the things that I believe in strongly. So if somebody was asking me the other night about, well, I want to do your program and I want to pay in full, so how would I do that without putting it onto a credit card if I have no money right now? And I'm like, well, you make an offer. You put together this bundle and you put together that bundle and you work on it until you sell it. And guess what? If you have a network that you're already working with and you already have some kind of a following and some kind of levels of connections and you're following up with people, chances are you're going to get a sale because you've already got a network. If you don't have a network, well, then we need to talk about what you need to do in order to build that network, because you need that network in order to get sales. So I hope that this has been helpful for you guys. What I want you to do, honestly, is listen to your soul, pray to God, listen to a higher being, stay the course, focus with your little horsey blinders on, and roll that little snowball until it grows. Avoid the shiny things, the crazy shiny things that promise $1 million. I have ways that I can get clients to add 100,000 a year in revenue, but you've got to have the right business to do it. Know where your business is and be realistic with what doing different forms of marketing is going to do for your business. I'd love to chat with y'all. I'd love to schedule a one-to-one. My website is women'sentrepreneurnetwork.org. There's a link on it that is book a call with me. I would love for y'all to chat and I'd love to connect. I hope we can talk soon. Y'all stay safe, stay warm, stay dry, and love y'all. Take care. Have a great night. Bye-bye.